Want to learn how to make people do this?
you're okay. Maybe the I think it's that you're committing like
I'm angry because you're a little fucking weasel and I want to fucking slap you. That's why I'm angry. I'm gonna get a little bit triggered when you fucking treat me like I'm an idiot when I know way more than you do.
Well, I literally wrote the book on how to do that. Rational Answers to Stupid Question is my book that will be coming out in a few weeks. I've taken the most common arguments I hear in my debates and written comprehensive refutations of all of them. So if you want to know how to handle that really annoying uncle or your friend or coworker when they bring up some nonsense, buy the book and you will be well equipped. I'll have the official release date coming out soon, so make sure you're subscribed, have the bell notifications turned on so you can know exactly when that's going to be.
About creation. You want them to learn about, music or something. It should be, of course, that something they would want to do. It shouldn't be something that they should not have to do. Don't you think?
No. And I'm curious, what else do you think this should apply to when it comes to school?
What do you mean? And
Do you think we should teach Christian math?
I've never heard it like that.
Okay, do you think we should teach Christmas English?
Christmas English?
Yeah. Did I say Christmas? I meant Christian.
That's funny. Um, no, no. I mean, it should be the choice. But we have Christian schools. You don't have to go to a public school. If all the public schools want to become atheist schools, then let them go there. But we have Christian schools, so but not everybody can afford to go to a private school or
Okay,
whatever.
so
So it should
let's
still
stay on
be
task here. How would it work
okay.
for kids to choose to teach to learn creation instead of science? How would that work?
I don't know, but I think there should be a choice on and try to learn anything when it comes to how the world began, or how did life start, or what happens after life? What happens
So,
if a child says,
again, what
you
would
know,
this look like? Is there going to be a classroom where kids sit down and you give them a computer and then you just say, I don't know, learn about stuff, I guess. What would
um,
be the
I think we're
standards?
pretty good on when it comes to being, especially how far technology has come. Technology can be some of that when it comes to learning, right? You look at some of the things
Okay.
that are
What
built
types of
and made.
creation do you think should be taught?
I definitely do believe in creation, so it should be
What types
a
of
creator,
creation do you think should be taught?
like where we came from.
Okay. Do you think that schools should teach the mythical story that the Hopi people tell about Spider Woman and how she helped create the Earth?
No, because we have to see. That's the thing. You're going back to saying, well, what is reality and what is fake? What is
Okay.
doesn't
Do you know what
exist and what does
bigotry
exist?
is?
I guess today it could be anybody's definition, just like a Christian, right? Or an
Right.
atheist. Is an atheist real? An atheist
Right.
do not
Well,
believe
if you
in
want to
God, or do
know,
they
just
believe
go
in
look in a
something?
mirror. So I offered a version of creation to be taught, and you rejected it. I'm guessing the only kind of creation you think should be taught is what Christians believe in.
No. Like I said, we live in a country of all things, right? We live in a country that should be choice, right? You shouldn't have to be forced to learn about God if you don't want to. Same thing, I shouldn't have to be forced to know if I came from a monkey or not, right?
You are so inconsistent. It's really annoying.
Why would you say that?
Be-
I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Barely. So, why do you not think that the Hopi people's creation story should be taught?
I didn't say if you want to learn about all the histories of what has begun or all the traditions of histories. I never said that they
Okay,
can't learn about Indians
I'm gonna
or
have to cut you off because
whatever else.
you have absolutely no idea where this conversation is even trying to go. So, the problem with what you think is what would actually happen is that a whole bunch of Christian organizations would pool all their money together and they would take control of school boards and curricula, and then we would basically have Christian Bible school in public schools, which would be a violation of the First Amendment.
Then why would you say that it is?
Because
Because that's the way it's
because
always been
because
since
you
the
cannot
beginning.
sponsor you cannot have a state sponsored religion, and public schools are funded with tax dollars. They are effectively an arm of the government. And if we have a nationwide program that says yes, we will teach creation, but what we're really going to do is teach Christian creation, then what you're doing is you're basically forming you'd basically have a state church. And the United States was the very first secular republic ever formed on our planet. One of the core bedrock ideas was the freedom of religious expression and the freedom from religious expression and identity. Uh, Again, it's called the Establishment Clause. So this would be a direct violation of that.
I still think that, not saying you want to call it Christian, but you could just call it creation. You don't have to, it doesn't have to have a name.
Yeah, that sounds cute, but again, exactly what would happen is a bunch of Christian organizations which have a shitload of money and are hell bent on this. A lot of them think the world is going to end in their lifetimes, and it's the most important thing in the world for them to evangelize their ideas and force them upon people. And that's exactly what would happen. Yeah. Also,
So-
why do you think it should be the school's job to teach religion to kids? Why can't they learn that? I find it very confusing that the same people that say, no, sex education, that should be up to the parents. Why should religion be up to the schools?
Maybe there shouldn't be any religion then, right?
Exactly.
Then we have to play. But the thing is, we have to play in your court, though, right?
What?
So everything has to be played in an
What do you
atheist
mean?
court
What do you
or
mean?
whatever.
No, there's no atheism taught in schools. We teach science in science classes. Science isn't an atheist practice or belief. Neither is mathematics, neither is English, neither is music or even social studies.
I understand. I'm trying to understand what you think and how you feel, you know? But at the same time, I don't think they're ever going to be two different people with two different ways of thinking, you know? You guys have your way of how you guys believe, and we have ours. So it goes back to how we can coexist, and I don't think we can, right?
And whose fault is that? If we were
I
to
don't
look
know.
if we were to look at the statistics,
I wasn't born in the last 400
what group
years.
of people do you think commit more acts of terror? Secularists or fundamentalist religious people?
I'm sure both have. I'm not saying when it comes to atheists or anything, but religious
yes,
has always
if
religion has always been.
if there's one of one and a billion of the others, then you can say both have. But that's really obviously completely missing the point. Which one do you think is more so? Which one do you think is actually the problem?
We have too many religions, for one.
Yeah, more than zero.
We have too many. I guess everybody believes in something, right? But is what they believe is to be true is what they will die for, basically, right? I'm just saying. I mean, why do you get so upset? You talk about this every day, day in, day out, right? Obviously, it's one.
I'm
You're trying
annoyed
to.
because We have here very interesting topics, but you have no grasp of any of them.
Well, how can we understand these? I can understand you as a person or anybody that would be like you and still be
Because
able to
I'm
have a conversation.
articulate and I have well thought ideas and I read about these kinds of things. That's why you're able to understand what I'm saying.
Where did all your ideas come from then?
Books, the internet,
Who wrote them?
probably humans. Or
Okay,
maybe
and
it
who
was
made
an
you?
infinite monkey
Where did
box.
humans come from?
Where do humans come from?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Okay, we don't have to talk about procreation or whatever.
So, step one, go to the liquor store and get yourself a couple of 40s, right? Step two,
Because you're saying I'm delusional. I'm crazy, right? I'm everything you can think of in the book when it comes to what
literally
I
never
believe.
said any of those words.
But I'm just trying to say you poke fun, and that's what you guys do. You poke fun of people that do believe, and all you guys want to do is debunk us and try to find ways to
Do you want to talk about the
whatever.
idea of where
I'm sure.
humans come from? I like what are we doing?
I'm trying to find out why you have these conversations. Because okay, let's read your stuff. It says evolution is a fact.
Yep. Yep,
So
we
is the
we
Big
know
Bang.
that, and
The Earth
tens of millions of Americans
Earth is
deny it and
billions
are
of
trying
years
to
old.
undermine it.
Earth
And
is not
a
flat.
society that fails to understand and accept basic scientific facts is a society. We live in an extremely complicated world at this point because of what we can do with technology. And a society that fails to comprehend these things will collapse. For example, in the Soviet Union, in the kind of early and mid 20th centuries, they had this guy named, I can't remember what his first name was. It might have been Alexander, but his last name was Lysenko. And he had all these harebrained, idiotic ideas about inheritance. They strongly rejected evolution, and because of that, they had all these stupid agricultural practices that led to the starvation of like 15 million people or something like that. Um, and Mao, what's really funny is when people talk about how many people communism killed, it wasn't like them rounding up people and sending them to the gulag. It wasn't them running people over in tanks. It was the vast majority of it was the fact that they tried to enact policies that were deeply unscientific, and for Mao it was his agricultural practices. They were just extremely stupid, and that caused 50 million people to starve to death, right? Now, what could possibly happen in the United States? I'm not really sure, but these facts are important. We cannot live in a society
So were you
at this
saying that
point
we should end up
where the
in
facts don't
camps? Like,
matter and we cling to a bunch of barbaric superstitions.
so you would be probably happy if all of us were stuck in a camp and then just blow the smithereens, right?
I have
Is that what
absolute
you
what
rather have?
you got to repeat that. I didn't understand
I'm
it.
just saying. Can you hear what I'm saying, or I'm close to the mic, whatever?
Yeah, just say it again.
Okay. I'm just saying you would rather have people like us thrown in a camp and blow the smithereens, right? And so we never existed ever, right?
Yeah, so
Is that
I
your
I don't
solution?
I don't know where you get the balls to make a statement like that from. Oh, this guy isn't a Christian. Well, that means he wants to commit a Christian Holocaust. Fuck you.
No, I
Oh, you didn't
don't.
hear me.
But I'm
Okay.
saying
Fuck
what atheists say.
you. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
Why?
Because you're a
Why are you
piece of
getting mad?
shit.
Why? So that's all you want to do is call people names,
Yeah,
right?
you, yes. Pieces of shit like you, yes. I am mean to people like you and I
Why?
call them names.
Why?
Because you assume the absolute worst in people. What I think you're
No, I
actually doing
don't.
is projecting.
No, I don't. I'm trying
This
to find
guy
ways
doesn't
where I can.
believe what I believe. He gave a long answer to why he thinks that religious nonsense shouldn't be taught in schools. He probably wants to round up all the Christians and blow them up.
Well,
You're
just
an
because you're a
actual
Christian
idiot.
doesn't.
If you were any more of an idiot, you would be an idiot. I know your camera's not on, but this is you. This is what you look like. This is you.
Okay. I don't think I came from monkeys, so. Come on. You gotta laugh a little bit, right?
I'm sure later I will, yeah.
But
All right. Well, have a shitty life and go fuck yourself.